Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Living Freestyle Game Dev live stream. My name is Kevin. It is Wednesday morning, and we're running a little bit behind today. Let's see. Oh, the way this works. This is a Q&A AMA. Hop in, ask questions. We kind of were working with Unreal Engine blueprints, visual scripting, all those kinds of things, and works like office hours. So like I said, hop in and out as you please. Questions take priority. If there are no questions, that's not a problem. What I do is I fill the time with me just working towards my own working prototype in a game that I'm trying to make. I currently work as a tech artist at Riot Games in R&D. I get to do a lot of really cool stuff at work, but there's a lot of really cool stuff I don't get to do, and this gives me a chance to learn a whole lot about a lot of other disciplines. I still need to do a couple things here to finish getting set up, but we'll go ahead and we'll hop over to Unreal to get going. And we also need to get our music going. Let's see here. And I noticed it was a little bit loud, I think, on the last stream. So what we'll do is we'll turn that down as we get rolling. Now, we didn't have any specific questions in any of the previous live streams, but we did have one on the Discord channel about setting up kind of billboards that appear in the scene. So we may go over that a little bit. Okay. Cool. Should be good to go. Let's make sure our chats are up. Let's make sure we actually click the go live button. That's great. We'll pin the Discord server. And we should be good to go. So here's a Twitter for updates and any kind of messages for everybody who's on Twitter. Oh wait, is my video not working? It is working. Okay. For everybody who's on Twitter, there's the YouTube channel for historical. And then finally, this should be the Discord server. All right. Now, before we hop into the questions the question that was on the Discord server, and I want to bring that up just to make sure I remember what it was. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm just gonna let them know I'm here. And all right, cool. So let's see. Let me just cover a couple things that I've done in the game since the last time before we get into this. It's kind of like a sports media billboard question, which I'm still kind of fuzzy on if we're going to be answering the right question, but we're going to give it a shot. And I think it's just like any other question. There's a lot of things that can change, or a lot of different ways to do it. So a bunch of stuff has happened since the last time, and one of the coolest things that I've done since the last time is I went ahead and I made an entirely new ability, weapon, and combo set, which was which was kind of cool. So right now we have our regular sword, which is relatively fast, except for the last attack. And then we have our power combo. I haven't changed the power combo. And then we have our guns, and then I put in this new heavier sword. And this one is heavier attacks. It's meant to be a slower sword. I'll get a bigger model, but you can see overall it's slow. But the fun thing that I did is I added, we can also pick up this grenade. I added to the end of it a power slam attack. So 1, 2, 3. So that's actually cool. And the fun thing about that is I think we're starting to get to a point where the speed at which I can do these things is much more reasonable from the standpoint of, I think this took me less than an hour to put together. So if basically what that means is, you know, I could potentially, oops, that's wrong. Oh, I didn't pick up the grenade. I could potentially make quite a few of these every hour. I wonder where, wait a minute. What happened to our grenade? So, and I also got the grenades working again. Right now these guys are in dummy mode just for testing, but I'm pretty sure I got the grenades working again. So let's just grab this and give it a shot. Can't seem to pick them up though. I did get them working, but there is a bug. So if I walk over this grenade, for example, and I go to throw it, I can't for some reason. But if I drop it, then pick it up again, now I can throw it. But these guys are all gonna freeze. Me too. Anyways, so that's kind of where we got to with the game. I'm pretty excited about the speed at which theoretically I can move with the ability system now. I still think we're going to do some testing or checking on the able ability system. I want to see what the differences are between that and the normal just gas-based system. See how much more flexible or easier it is to do. But overall, this is not a bad place to be in order to be starting to create abilities. Depending on where we get to today with this billboard thing, one of the things that I want to take a look at is when our sword is equipped. If we drop this guy, when this sword is equipped, being able to change the movement sets, the idle states and everything like that to be the heavy sword spec. So we'll get into that in a second, but for now, let's take a look at this billboard question. Also, let's just double check all our levels. All right, mic's working, everything's good. Okay, so basically the way this question was presented is they're working on basically a real-time green screen, and they want to do kind of like a data-driven broadcast animation cards, and you know, bringing up the cards and things like that on for soccer players or you know, Formula One or whatever it is. Now, I think probably the easiest thing to do here is if we go, and there's two parts to this, and I wish VP9 was here, or 9VP was here, because then we could potentially clarify some of this so I'm not doing the wrong stuff. But anyways, we'll give it a shot. And the two parts to this are the making the cards part of it and then the data-driven part of it. So let's just do this. Let's take, first things we need is we need a widget. So let's make a widget, and we're going to make let's just make a general widget. Okay. And we're going to call this widget a face card or broadcast card. Broadcast card. Okay, and we're going to make this relatively simple. So to do that, let's drop in a border and maybe an image and maybe some text, a rich text block. Actually, so to do that, let's do this. Let's do a vertical box within our border, and then let's do our image and our rich text block. Okay, now Slate for me is always fun. So as promised, let's kind of stumble through this together. So first thing I want to do is let's just change this to be custom, and let's just say that we're going to have these be a little bit taller, like that, and then let's change our border to be, and I want to bring up another one that I have as an example so I can hopefully get through this a little bit faster from a appeal standpoint. This overlay. Oh, I didn't want a border. That's what I wanted. I wanted an overlay. So here's one of the cool things about UMG or Slate. I can just right click and I can replace this with an overlay. Cool. Now I can actually see what I'm doing. And let's take this image and let's find a cool image we can use. Maybe something like a person or a player icon or something. Lots of white squares. Wait, what was that? Oh, that's a waypoint texture. That's not what we want. Water. Are there any cool images? I'm looking for like a player profile or something. All right, let's try profile. Let's see here. Image. Sure, we'll just go with the good old classic Unreal icon for now. That'll work. Okay, and then for the text, let's make this. This is going to be a username. So, who's like your favorite sports star? Let's see, Rocky Balboa, right? Balboa. Holy smoke, that is some funky text. And that is because we don't have our font set. Wait, is that right? What kind of widget is this? This is a rich text block. What kind of text is this? This name field. Text style based. This is common text. This is an open common text block. We just need a text block now. We don't need anything fancy here. So let's just try this text. Text block. Oh, I don't want an editable text block. Common rich text block. Okay, yeah, that has the that has the styling and stuff. I don't know what that other one was. Anyway, so let's try this. Rocky blah, blah, blah. All right, and then we need to make our image proper. Let's go. Height is going to be 120. Nope. Let's try 240. Nope. 256. That's still too much. So 130. Nope. 138. 200. That looks good. 200. Okay. So let's just call this. This is our card, our text card. Okay. So we have this built. Now, all we need to do is we just need to create, I'm going to create an actor for this. So if we go back to that. And let's just get this working. Let's create a new blueprint, and it's going to be an actor. And this is going to be our blueprint broadcast actor. We'll call everything broadcast for now, just because it's broadcast actor. Okay. And what we're going to do in this broadcast actor is we are going to add our widget. And I'm going to replace the default scene root with our widget. And then over here in our settings for our widget, all we're going to do is we are going to find the widget class. And it's super weird for me because it's always kind of hidden. I don't know why I can never see it, so sometimes I just easier to type it. Here's our widget class, and this is going to be our broadcast card. Now, when we do that, you'll see it shows up right there in 3D space, which is cool. That's what we need. All right, now, so we can compile, we can save that. And then what we're going to do is when we take this actor and we drop it in our scene, you'll notice we now have this broadcast card. Now, there are so many ways to make this data driven at this point, but let's just see if we can run through it. You can see our broadcast card is there. Now, in order to do all of the cool, fun, exciting animations and blends-ins and things like that, there's lots of different ways to do that. But let's just kind of just step through each of the, the little pieces of this thing as we go. So we're calling that our broadcast card. Now, let's hook up the underpinnings for making it data driven, and then we'll come back and maybe hook up a data table or whatever. So to do that, let's go back to our broadcast card. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our common text block, and I'm going to rename this because that is not going to help me when I'm trying to figure out what I'm working with. So I'm going to call this common text block player name or athlete name, for example. Okay, so now that that's a variable, what we can do in our graph is on construct. Wait, we forgot to compile that. We can take this and we can set the athlete set the to text, get tip text, get shape text, get text, set text. Here it is. So we're going to set text. Now, what we're going to set the text to is we're going to set the text to a variable that we pass in. So over here in our variables, I could create a variable called, what were we calling this? An athlete name. We don't really need the N. Let's just call this athlete name. and we're going to change this to be, we'll just do text just to make it easier. Okay, and then all we do is we change this to instance, editable, and exposed on spawn. Now, when we do this, we can compile and we can save this. If we go back to our designer's still going to be the same. It's still going to say Rocky Balboa. If we come back to Unreal and we play, you'll notice that it's all smushed first off, and also we don't have a name. And that's because the name is getting set to nothing. And when the name gets set to nothing, the widget is automatically getting scaled down. And as a result of that, it looks funky. So what we need to do here is, if we want to change the name, what we can do here is in our settings, somewhere in here should be this is our widget. Oh, no. Okay, we're twice removed, right? What we need to do is if we go in here, not there, that's not where I wanted to be. I want to be in our broadcast actor. Here's our broadcast actor. Okay, this widget should have an athlete name variable. That's interesting, I don't see it. Interesting, where did that go? Here's our broadcast card. Our athlete name should be in the graph. Default value, instance editable. Okay, maybe it doesn't show when we drop it in here like this. Parent socket. That is okay. That is not going to be a problem. Good morning, Daryl. Welcome to the stream. How you doing this morning? So what we're going to do is we're going to change this, because I know what we can do is we can do this a different way. So here's what we'll do. We'll do in our event graph on begin play. Let's get this widget, and then let's set the athlete set. Hold on a second. Why doesn't this have a variable? Okay, so let's take a look at our ammo variables as an example. We're getting the items, we're getting the equipments, we're removing the tags, we're broadcasting the messages, we're getting the item slots, the indices, depending on all that kind of stuff. Here's our text style, item icon. This is our text, and we're setting the text for the item count. And that is coming from, oh, interesting. Okay, I worked that differently. All right, what we're trying to do, Daryl, is we're trying to make broadcast cards so that when you're almost like a soccer team or a Formula One racing event, so in a live action, in a live green screen, you can pop up info cards about the athletes and stuff like that. Now, what's interesting to me is this is supposed to be exposed on spawn and instance editable, but obviously for some reason I can't. Oh, I know what I could do. Cast to what? Cast to broadcast card. Okay. And then let's set that. set the athlete name to, let's do Cody Maverick. Does that compile? Okay, warning. It doesn't know that this is a broadcast component. That's sort of wild because we're sort of telling it. Let's just see what happens if we play. Okay, our name is not showing up. What a pain in the butt. Okay, we're gonna change the way we do this. Let's change the way that we do this. What we're going to do is we have a default scene root. On begin play, we're going to spawn. I believe it's, can we spawn a widget? Create widget. Yes, so we can create a widget. And the widget we're going to create is going to be our broadcast widget. Okay, that way we know for sure. And then you can see, I don't know why Unreal's doing that, but either way, that works in the sense that we have this Cody Maverick. And we don't have to worry about owning player or anything like that. And then let's just see what happens when we play. Nada. Where is our broadcast card? Top-down arena multiplayer. Do we have to attach it? Attach to actor. We can use ourself, and we're going to snap to target. Snap to target. Let's try that. Where is our widget, man? I do not see it anywhere. Cody Maverick broadcast card. This is our broadcast card. This is wild. Oh, we didn't actually set the parent for that. So let's get a reference to self. Okay, compile that. Still nothing. Huh, okay. Getting our butts kicked first thing in the morning. It's my favorite. Let's see here. Oh, we're not attaching an actor to an actor. There is no attach. So set, is there a location? All right, let's go back to this. Let's go back to trying this the other way. We're gonna add a widget here. We're gonna bring back our widget. And this widget is going to be our broadcast actor. Our broadcast card. We're not gonna worry about this. We're gonna compile that. And then when we look, here's our, it's there. Wow, it's so weird. And then with this widget, what can we do with it? Oh, I wonder. Wait. B broadcast A. Look at this. It knows it's a broadcast actor. I mean, it definitely knows it's a broadcast actor because it shows up there. Well, it does appear on play. So here's the thing. This is the weird thing. And there's workarounds to this, but I want to understand this a little bit better. See how it's squashed? It's squashed because if we go back to our broadcast widget, I can, if I disconnect the construct here and I compile this, when we play, you'll see that it says Rocky Balboa, everything looks great. So if you were standing in this, you could have these up as your broadcast cards and that would totally work, right? But the thing is, we want to be able to make this data driven. And so we want to be able to set the name. So the athlete name is a variable that we have set to expose on spawn, and it's instant editable. So that should all work. Well, we know for sure. So for example, if I compile this and I play right now, instead of Rocky Balboa, it's going to say XXX. See how it says XXX down there? That's because it's just taking the default. What it's not doing is, I want to be able to set it when the actor spawns. So here's the actor that it's associated with. And even though I've compiled and everything, and I have a handle to this widget, when I drag off of here, it notices that it's a broadcast actor. See, class broadcast actor. Interesting. But it doesn't, there's not a set default scene root set widget, which is, oh no, that's not even the widget class. That's the actual actor class. And I can cast it to, it's weird because I can't cast it to, I can't even cast it to a broadcast widget. But if I spawn it, if I create a widget, and I set this to broadcast widget, then I have everything I need. And I can change this to Cody Maverick, for example. I wonder, can I do this? Set the widget. But parent, we're just missing something here. It's super, well, once we find it, we'll be okay. But right now I should have two of these, and one of them should technically be at the origin. We could change this to set screen. Screen. Oh, interesting. That adds it to the player screen. I don't want to do that. I want to. This is a widget component. Create widget. That's a new widget. Oh, hold on. Create widget component. Nope, I don't need that. Let's set the parent. Nope. So if I compile this and play right now, I only have XXX. And if I go wireframe, you can see that's the widget, that's that blue square. And it's the only one in the scene, even though I'm supposedly creating one. And I don't understand why it's doing this to me. Let's try another thing. Let's add an event to this. Let's add a custom event. And we're going to call it set text. What I want to know is if we print string on this, compile and save that. If we go back to our broadcast actor and we take our widget, Weston, good morning. Yeah, it's been a while. If we set, yeah, see, look, I can't even do that. But if I drag off of here, I can set the text easy. So this is super weird. It's like it doesn't know this widget, even though I've set the info here. It's like even though I've set it, it doesn't know what it is. Cast to class. Broadcast. Nope, that doesn't work either. So we got two problems. One, I mean, we can build our broadcast widget, that's working. We can get it to show up in the scene, getting it to animate and all that stuff is fine, but attaching it to the actor. But once it's in here, it doesn't, we can't seem to be able to do anything with it, which is dumb. Default value. We've set all of this information and it doesn't know what it is. Add event for widget, call function on widget. Okay, there's lots of functions that we can call on this widget. None of them are any of the ones that we defined, which is sort of a bummer. User interface. Get the draw size, get the pivot. It's in here somewhere. We're just, set the widget. Widget. Ooh. Hold up a second. Well, it compiled. Oh my goodness. What a roundabout way of doing things. Okay. So, but it worked. I don't know why we have to do that. That seems like a hoop to have to jump through, but we can do that. It's interesting to me. Okay, hold on a second. I want to try to do this fully scripted. Add component. And we're going to add a component. And can I do a widget? So we could add a widget component. Here we go. Okay, so let's get rid of this. We're going to add a widget component. And what we're going to do with that widget component is we're going to set the widget to itself. Why are we doing this? Because we want to be able to do this fully scripted so we can make it data driven. So we're going to add the component, then we're going to create the card, and then we're going to set the widget here. So you all thought I was kidding when I said stumble through stuff. I was legit. I was for real. Let's see if this even works. It does. Woohoo! Okay, cool. We're making progress. Now, what that means is, so now we kind of have the hooks in. So now that we have the widget that we've created, You can see we're setting the text on in, but I can also change the text after the fact now. So if I wanted to, I should be able to I can set the athlete name. So what we'll do here is on create, 2 seconds later, let's do a delay. And we'll delay 2 seconds. Okay, and then let's change the athlete name to be Neo Anderson. Okay, so let's go. So what's gonna happen is we're gonna see Cody Maverick down here, and then after 2 seconds, that should change to Neo Anderson. But it's not. Why is that not changing? Okay, let's go back. Is there a redraw? A refresh? No. This is the widget. Interesting. Wow. Okay. So let's try this. Can we do set text? Let's see if our functions will call. So here's what I want to know. After 2 seconds, do we see hello print? Man, this is kind of like... Yes, it prints hello. Okay, so let's go back to our function. Let's go back to our broadcast card. And what we'll do is we will add an input to this. And we're going to add the input of athlete name. See if we can get this to dynamically update. Let's go full tilt on this. Okay. And then what we're going to do is going to do this basically. I'm going to worry about printing hello. I'm going to say that that's good to go. And we'll connect this in. Nope, not what we're thinking. Here we go. And then we need to go back to our broadcast and we're going to set this to be, who did we say? Neo Anderson, I believe it was? No, it's just a Mr. Anderson. Okay. Now let's play. 1,002, Mr. Anderson. I have no idea why that didn't work when you did it the other way, but we're making progress. Okay, so we have our player stats card, if you will, our stand-in for it. We have our graphic and all those kinds of things. We have ability to spawn it. We have ability to set the information on it. So as far as a lot of the visual stuff that goes with this, all you would really do is everything you normally do now, okay? What you would do is, if, for example, you wanted to have animations, you could go to the animation window and you could animate this image fading in, for example. Let's see. Do you all want me to try to do that, or do you all want me to get back to gameplay stuff? I have not tried to do text UMG animation in a little while. But since Daryl and Weston are here, I'll let you all vote. Try that. Okay. Okay. I don't remember how this works, so it's gonna take me a second to figure out. All right. Let's see here, designer. Where do I have animations that I could look at? Okay, I have no animation track. This is our image. It is a variable. I don't remember even how to get this to be in the animations. Here's our tracks. Ah, here we go. Image 50. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to fade this in. So let's do color and opacity, and we'll set a key here, and then after, let's just do a slow fade in. 2 seconds. Yes, I did start the Discord. So actually, that's where this question came from. So let's set a key on the alpha there, and let's go back to the beginning, and let's set our alpha to 0. So it should fade in. So what's going to happen is when we start our play, okay, call me crazy, but that didn't look like it faded into me. I mean, it definitely fades in here. It's definitely popping as well. Oh, you have to play the animation. That's why. So let's take the image and do we play this? Play animation forward. Okay, so we're going to, go back. We're going to play the animation forward. Now this is gonna look weird, I think, because I think it's gonna pop and then come back, but let's just see. There we go. Cool, we got our fade in. Great. So just as a stand-in, we have a fade in animation just for fun. So we did a quick little animation so that would fade in, and we would probably also add, if we wanted to be, if we wanted to be consistent about this, we would do the same thing with the athlete name. Where is this? What am I looking for? Flow, clipping, transform, visibility. Oh, the athlete name is, yeah, we'll just do visibility. And we can set a key. It's interesting, we can't set the text style. I guess we'd have to get a different type of text in here. But for now, let's just pop it on after the fade finishes. So let's just set a key here. And then we'll go here and we'll set a key to hidden. And then visible. So, okay, so what should happen is when we play, there we go. I'm going to take out the changing of this for now. Okay, actually, let's just disconnect it because maybe we'll want to bring that back later. Oh, I didn't play the animation. Interesting. Let's start this out as visible. Not collapse. Let's go hidden. Wait, did I pick the right thing? Athlete name hidden. Okay. Play. There it is. Okay. So anyways, we have some animation. So you can make this as fancy or whatever you want using UMG. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff. And we have our actors. Now, how do we make this data driven? Well, that's the part that's a little bit kind of fuzzy in the question for me, because now that we have the hooks so that we can set the things dynamically, it should be pretty straightforward to do this. For example, let's just do this with a variable. So we're going to create a variable called player names, for example. Let's just make this easy. We're going to make them text, and we're going to make them an array. And let's compile this. And then let's add a few player names. So the first one, give me some favorite characters, everybody. Are we doing Mr. Anderson? How about Indiana Jones? None? Nobody has any favorite characters? Not helpful. So not helpful. Okay. Let's do I'm totally blanking. I don't know why I'm blanking. I can't even think of. Sure, well, why not? Let's do Trinity. Trinity. Set. Okay, there we go. Sephiroth. Okay, and we'll just do one more. Let's do what was that dude's name? Darth Maul. Darth Maul was awesome. I'm sad they killed him. Ethan Hunt, that's a fun one. We'll do Ethan Hunt too. Okay, cool. Ethan Hunt. Actually, I just watched that with my daughter. She's just now getting old enough where she can watch this. So we went back and watched the first Mission Impossible. I forgot how long ago that was made. I mean, it was like in the 90s. And they were just seeing all the old phones and all the old computers that we used to use was wild. I was like, holy cow, I forgot how long ago this was made. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to data-driven create a whole bunch of these widgets. And to do that, we're going to use just a little bit of for loop. So let's do this. So for each of our player names, we're going to be adding widgets, and this is where we get into this. Now, how this gets done is where, like I said, there's many different ways to do this. So when we start play, let's just do a delay so we give ourselves a second to see this. We're going to do a 2-second delay, and then from that, we're going to pop into this for each loop. And what we're going to do in here is for each of our player names, we're going to be adding a widget component to this actor. This is one way to do it. It's going to be one actor with multiple widget components. Or you could do multiple actors. Actually, that might be better. Let's do that. And let's do it both ways. We'll do it both ways. Okay, so we're going to do that for each of the player names. We're going to add a widget component. We need to make a relative, I think this is going to work. Make a relative transform. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Let's take this and location, and let's do this times, let's just take this and multiply it by 100 in X. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but we're going to give it a shot. And then for each one, we're going to spawn a thing. We're going to spawn our athlete name, and we're going to set our widget. Okay, so we're creating widgets for each of the athletes' names. I don't know if these are going to stack right. I don't know if it's going to look right, but we're gonna give it a shot. 2 seconds in. There we go. So we have successfully programmatically set up each of our player cards. Now, obviously, more than just their names, you would be setting, and let's just connect this to, let's try Y instead. We'd be setting their images, all the different things. There we go. And it needs to be a little bit wider than that. Let's say, let's try it 300 as an example, just so we can see them a little better. So these are all of our player names, okay? Or if you're doing player stats, for example, on a green screen background. So now the data-driven aspect of this is right now this is being driven by just an array of player names. And this is all being done in one widget. You could easily have a separate widget that has, for example, if you were doing this like on a soccer field in the background behind you, you would have all the positions, and you would basically, you could have a database, or you could have a data table, or you could do what I've done here. There's many ways to make this data driven, and it's really going to be up to you. This is for original 9BP basically. So the data driven aspect of this is literally going to, I don't know what your backend looks like or your persistence layer looks like, but you could have an array of structs, which is player names, their position, the image that they use, etc. And you're just going to basically loop through and set these to whatever you want to be. And then each one of those cards or each one of those widgets, when they spawn, would either play their spawn in their default startup animation, all your little flashy everything and stuff like that. And before you know it, you have a data-driven broadcast player stats thing that can pop up like in broadcast TV. So hopefully that was helpful. That was fun. Let's see what this was. Okay, cool. So with that, we are going to wrap up this guy, and I'll just close these down. Before I move on, did anybody that was here have any questions about that? No. So you wouldn't, because as I just kind of went through, this one is set up so it's, let me go back to that. So this has, the broadcast card is its own template, if you will. And then the broadcast actor, in this case, inside the broadcast actor, we are spawning multiple broadcast cards. So you could have one actor that has all the broadcast cards in it, or you could have a broadcast controller that spawns actors for each card, and then each actor might have a single card in it. There's really, you could do both. There's, I could probably even see reasons for doing either way. So both would work. Much in the same way as this method has one actor with multiple cards. The other way would be you would set up an actor controller, or you'd spawn multiple actors, each with its own cards, much like you would spawn an enemy with single cards in it as well. Okay. So with that, I believe we are actually back into fighting. Oh, we don't need our broadcast actor anymore. We can get rid of that. If we start, we pick up our sword. All right, where were we? We were gonna fix a couple things. So we have two swords now, and the small sword is quick and fast. Okay, so I think it's too strong, because if we're gonna have a fast sword, I want it to be fast. It gives us the power to be fast. And then we have our slow sword, which is boom, 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 and it even has explosions. I don't know what my name is. That's a really good question. I believe it's shot in 3D. Yes. I wonder if there's a way for me to specify that that's me. I'm gonna have to, you know what, that's a really good call out. Nobody's gonna know who Shat3D is on Discord. I should probably add like a, a little flag or something like that. So yeah, we'll do that. All right, so let's take a look at our sword. So our gameplay abilities for our sword, the damage that it applies is the GE sword damage. And if we look at that, this is our GE sword damage. Right now, I believe we have this multiplied by 10. Let's cut this down to 3. So our main sword, or our, yeah, I could change my name. Okay, so now a successful full combo kills an enemy. That's pretty good. That was weird. I don't know why that didn't. Hold up a second. Oh, it depends on where they're getting hit. Oh, interesting. That's a little confusing, but it works. Okay, so I think that's good for the sword. Now what we need to do is we need to create a broadsword or a greatsword damage. So let's go back to this. Let's compile and save this, and then let's go back here, and let's go greatsword damage. Oh wait, do we already have greatsword damage? GE damage greatsword, we do. Okay, so this one is still at 10 times the base of the combo. So let's make sure that our greatsword combo is using what? What is this? Oh, that's our AoE damage. Here we go. That's the launching of the character. This is GE damage sword. We need this to be the great sword. All right, so we can compile, we can save that. I just want to look at these class defaults. I don't believe it's, no, okay, cool. So let's just double check that. I didn't even realize it was already after 9. So we're just gonna double check that all this works, and we'll go from there. So first things first, our fast sword is super weak. I think our multiplier on that second hit is pretty high. But let's go ahead and switch to our greatsword. And the idea here is this thing is a beast that can't, oh, I remember. There we go, 150, 200. Okay, it's better. It's better, but I think we need to do some work on this. 400. Yeah, okay, this is cool. It's slower. Why didn't that damage her? Interesting. Okay, so we basically, but we separated it out. So these attacks are slower, but they do more damage, and we have the AoE at the end of the power attack on that combo, which could be cool. Now it might be worth. Interesting. If we. Oh, that's. But overall, I mean, the point here is, it did not take me that long to set up this new ability set. It's interesting, the timing of that is, it looks like it's maybe knocking the characters out of the way before it does the damage. So we may need to change the timing of that. But overall, we've created. Actually, I did already. I don't know if you noticed it, but you can see. So, well, first off, if we switch to the guns, you can see we have a crosshair. Headshots are totally a thing. So we definitely have a crosshair. And these are, right now, these are just kind of like, we snake these from Lyra. So there's some things that are going to be changing about this, but overall, I want you to be able to switch between swords and guns. But you'll notice that there is a melee crosshair as well, and I'm probably going to be updating this to be less of a crosshair and more of just like a sideways a reticle, if you will. And what this one does is, I think you may have missed that one. What this one does is, this is for a gap closer. So it basically targets, it's a targeting thing for whoever happens to be closest. And if I right click on this, 9 VP, we just finished a whole demo for you. But if I right click now, you'll see this is the character I teleport to attack. So it's all based on whoever is closest to me right now. And one of the things that I thought we were going to do today, or in one of these upcoming streams, was basically updating this targeting reticle so I could actually middle mouse or some button to change who the target was. But that is a different targeting reticle than the one for the guns. Cool. So 9 VP, we did a bunch of stuff with some broadcast cards and stuff earlier in the stream. So hopefully that was on point to what you were looking for. Hopefully it's helpful. If not, just throw the questions in the Discord or the comments and things like that. We can go back through it. As STEM Labs and Weston can throw in would be, we definitely stumbled through it. Definitely hit some stumbling blocks as we were trying to get it set up, but let me know. Hopefully it's helpful. We're already kind of past our time for today, so I gotta kind of go get ready for the day job. But I think what we're going to be doing in upcoming streams, pending, of course, questions come first. Questions are their priority here. But if there are no questions, those are going to be some of the things we're working through. Targeting stuff. I'm pretty happy with the speed at which. Let's just go ahead and wrap this up. I'm pretty happy with the speed at which I'm able to create new abilities and stuff like that, which is cool. And I don't know, man. I feel like we're starting to get to the cusp of like cool stuff is gonna start happening faster and faster. So we'll be bringing back in our allies. We'll be actually creating a whole bunch of items, drops, some new abilities, fixing some things like our grenades, and actually trying to set up our fights. Seeing if we can make this encounter feel good. One thing I know for sure is that gap closer feels awesome, and I think we're gonna want to add some kind of I think it'd be cool when you jump, if there's a gap closer there, or in-air attacks. So there's gonna be a few things like that, but overall that's kind of where we are. Feels like we're starting to get some momentum, which is cool. As always, STEM Labs, 9 VP, Daryl, anybody who's hanging out in the sidelines, everybody on Twitch, thanks for hopping in and checking out the stream. These are twice a week, Sunday nights and Wednesday mornings. I've been doing much better about pre-scheduling them now, so hopefully that helps with remembering times. There is the Discord server. We're trying to build up a cool community of people who can help each other out in that way as well. And that should be some fun. And as always, if you have questions, you feel free to hop in the next stream, throw them in the comments on the Discord server. We'll try to go through those. I hope everybody has an amazing weekend, and I will catch you all Sunday night. Take it easy.